Hey guys, welcome to another English commentary done by Diggity, and this is going to be a little of the heart-to-heart. It's a bit of an apology for the last couple NetHack commentaries. One of them, looking back on it, actually had a friend of a friend say, "Has Diggity lost his mind?" Because he just had a video that was him basically exchanging his inventory in NetHack for a couple minutes. I'm like, yeah. It's just been, one of those weeks, and I couldn't predict the action. I was just trying to do the entire thing live. I think I'll try to condense the action. I do think this character is set, though. That knight will beat the game, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Oregon starting in the upper right-hand corner, in red bottom right-hand corner, about the 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock position, well, 5. We have Flash in green. This is going to be a nice match. Flash, really known for his strong versus Terran play. Piano really raised some eyebrows when he beat Boxer initially, when Boxer was somewhat out of form. He had a really strong game. He's been really good against Terran in general. I'm not completely sold on him altogether. And Flash, I think, has the best TVT around right now as far as just solid playing level. I bet some people might argue that maybe Light or maybe C has that right now, but no, I really feel like Flash still is kind of the solid guy in the TVT category, although he does 14cc and end up losing a lot of games. So we'll see how it works out. I like Outsider as a map. I feel like Air, because you can drop shallow over those mineral walls, it just makes it an interesting map. Looks like Oregon's going to go for a front door seal. He's also known as Piano, and beautiful shot. Eating little Korean munchies here and getting caught on camera. But yeah, it's Oregon, Piano. Eventually maybe he'll hit Maestro. Dun-dun-dun. Shh. Put a joke in there. I actually sprung that one when I was discussing hanging out with some old guy and a couple other guys at their place. Life of Diggity. But yeah, the wedding was fantastic. They quite literally tied the knot. So special shout out to Liz and Wilson Saunders, new married couple. They're headed off to Hawaii right now, and in the meantime I'm taking care of their cat. And this last week I've had a lot of people in town. As a result, wasn't able to do the CSL finals, was really busy all week. Work was really crazy. So it's a tired Diggity doing this commentary, and I just got crushed by Sai like 7 games in a row. He's a much better StarCraft player than me. Interestingly enough, no gas take. Well, it is going to be a front door seal, but usually you'll still see a gas take on a 3-player map, but it doesn't look like Piano is in fact taking his gas here. Odd. Looks like he is going to scout at the 9 o'clock position. He's not going to in fact see Flash there, so he'll be scouting somewhat late. Flash will probably have an opportunity to take 2 Marines, block off his front door. So even off a front door seal, Flash will at least end up a little bit ahead in that regard. And on a side note, does anyone know of free music software online? I know this is a complete tangent. I want to make a little ditty, little intro on the front, and part of it is to make a little music on the front, but I don't know of any free music software, free music creation software, not pirated, free, like SourceForge stuff. So if anyone knows, let me know. It looks like Piano doing something interesting, taking 2 SCVs to the north. Flash, in the meantime, looks like he's going to go for a standard single factory build, that factory building itself. But Piano, in the meantime, taking 2 SCVs to the north. It looks like he's going to go for that 1 o'clock expansion up here, or that 11 o'clock expansion rather, and take a quick second gas, leave his secondary a little bit unexposed, and I think that SCV had an opportunity to go up there because that micro at that 1 o'clock position didn't in fact head up. But yeah, he's going to build that command center up there, now take his gas. Interesting. And Flash isn't going to have a real good spot at this, and it looks like that SCV is not going to in fact make its way in. Let's see what Flash is up to in his base. Yes. SCV, tell him the command Ren where to go, and he's reading my mind. So it looks like Flash is in fact going to go for just a standard fast expansion build. Looks like machine shop, tank, and then expansion. But his secondary is essentially going to be exposed. Oregon's going to have his command center up a little bit sooner. The one thing is he's not going to be able to transfer SCVs, so that will put Flash at a slight economic edge. But Flash is going to be much more exposed to airplay, basically, because his secondary a little bit more exposed. And I think Oregon should be able to take to the air, and as long as he plays air control, he'll be in a great position. That is one thing about Outsider, though, is just above that secondary, the backside of the secondary is look at luxury. Sorry, look at yellow. Yellow's awesome. You need to look, or no, that is luxury. You need to look at the shirt, KTF. Yeah, yellow's not even on Woojin stars. It's been one of those weeks. They're twins, though. Got to give myself that supply depot there for spawning. But that secondary, that harassment area above that command center, it is accessible by ground, so Flash can move troops out there, take it out, things like that. But that it still is troops he'll have to cycle in between his front and the secondary, and with enough dropships, that can be really annoying if you just keep cycling troops in between both locations and continue to harass. Not sure if that bunker was necessary, but looks like, wow, a lot of SCVs being that's genius. And it looks like he's going to get 4 with 1 shot to transfer the SCVs to that 1 o'clock position. or gets 11 o'clock position. So it's going to have a little bit harder time spreading the round, but that is going to give him that slight economic edge, and he will be able to take to the air a little bit faster than Flash. And we'll see how Flash counters this, because he's going to have to absorb a lot of attacks. His secondary is going to be very exposed. First factory up, now going for that second factory. But yeah, his secondary is going to be very exposed. Second factory now, and I've got to feel like Piano has to go to the air first of all. He's got to go to the air, and Flash is going to be somewhat thrown off here because he's going to run up. He's going to see that that secondary hasn't been taken, and additionally, and by the way, Flash has not scouted a lot this entire game. He sent out that one SCV scout and a couple Marines. He's just, I feel like a lot of proud Terran players fall onto this. Midas was definitely one of those guys where they just think, oh, I'm so good, I can scout everything off time. And when you face something like this, it can really hurt you. So we'll see if Flash ends up falling into that trap or not. Now seeing that Academy as well as that starport. So there's Piano headed to the air. He also wants to make sure he keeps an eye on what Flash is doing. Flash, in the meantime, going for an Academy and an Armory, so going to produce some Goliaths maybe to try to counter some of that. I'm not sure that he realizes what's going on right now. I think he's just getting that Armory to get weapons 1. He might, this is the thing, from his perspective, he saw that bunker on the front door, so maybe he's thinking there was an expansion taking in an opposite location. But he's not exactly sure, though, until he gets that comm set up, if he's going against a large push or not. Although I think if a push was coming, not that I'm a TVT expert, it would have come already, so Flash has got to feel at this stage, well, okay, if there was an attack, it would have already been on the way. 3 tanks already out here for Flash. That 1 o'clock position, just, or that 11 o'clock, keep calling it that 11 o'clock position, just absolutely rocking and rolling here for Oregon. 2 gas. And yeah, I think in a second here, this is going to be great position for Oregon. If he can get some economic harassment done, he's going to be in prime position. So now Flash going up, seeing, and he's got that single SCV there, seeing that the secondary's not taken, he's got to be thinking something's up, and specifically because he's not feeling pressure. Looks like he's putting that supply depot out to that 3 o'clock. 2 machine shops down, so it looks like he's going to go a little bit more tank heavy than Piano is, although he is producing a couple Goliaths here. Although it is conceivable he was going to go Vultures, but I'm not seeing the double upgrades there. Comp set over the secondary just to get a good look at that SCV saturation. Flash is going to be able to do the same momentarily, but yeah, these airdrops, they could do a lot of damage, particularly over that front, that kind of front lip right there. If you can get a lot of troops there and just make sure Flash can't take that 3 o'clock, make sure he doesn't take the 6 o'clock, and in the meantime take your own natural secondary, just because there's so much pressure, Oregon could end up in a very good position in this game, and we'll see if Flash can do to really counter. He's going to have a hard time really dealing against this. So I like this choice of strategy from Oregon at the very least. First dropship out, I think that is a tank and 2 Goliaths therein, and a lot of troops on the ground. Actually, 4 tanks looks like a much larger attack force because of the differentiation in gas. But Flash, even with that, because he can drop on that siege position, Flash could be in a bit of trouble here, and he's got to go uphill up the ramp, and that 1/3 mischance, he's not going to be able to get a lot done. Looks like the supply depot is going to spot that dropship out. And it was headed to that back lift. He's just going to hold up short, take that supply depot out, so Flash doesn't have a really good view of either direction. I don't think Flash has a dropship out, but I guess this is somewhat of a precautionary measure. And Flash doing something there at the 9 o'clock position. Not quite sure what he's up to there. And 3 machine shops down for Flash. Flash pumping a ton of tanks. So it looks like his counter to this is just saturate the ground with as many troops as possible. And honestly, if he just decided to scoop up, that's only 1 tank on defense. Those dropships could conceivably swing around, but one of them would be picked off in transition, and that could definitely hurt should it be decide to be aggressive. And it looks like he's going to come across his natural secondary, going to wipe up those 2 tanks here at the 3 o'clock position. Fortunately, with them out of position, he is going to be able to drop over that lip, or maybe right on the factory line, maybe kill a couple tanks as they're popping out, maybe to get a little bit of supply in the way. But it looks like it's just going to be 3 tanks and 2 Goliaths rather than just a full 4 tanks. He's going to start hitting that command center a bit, and I'm not sure that's the best position to actually go after here, because the reinforcements plus